right, we're going to talk about psychology behind food and the associated behavior. As I mentioned earlier, it's a very refreshing, very light topic for today on a Monday morning. To see food on the screen, it's quite refreshing, but it's a very hard thing to practice, trust me. Well, there are a few interesting facts I would like to take you through about food psychology. Number one, have you ever thought that the amount of food that we consume is directly proportional to the intensity of our hunger? It may or may not be true. It is also bases several other factors, including the size of food on a plate size. Say, for example, the same piece of cake, if it is served on a bigger, larger plate versus a smaller plate, we always assume the calorie that we burn, the calorie that we consume on a bigger plate is less. Second, as we age, taste fades away. Have you seen elders at home taking 2-3 more spoons of salt and sugar to meet up their taste requirements? It's quite common to know that as we age, there are only fewer taste buds that retain. And there is loss of sense of smell, which is crucial to taste one experiences. The same food tastes different depending on the context. The same piece of pizza tastes completely different if you're consuming it with your friends and family versus your peers, versus your customers, versus your potential investor, versus with some strangers, or having it all by yourself. Yeah? This is an interesting fact. The order is influenced by server's health. Have you seen in big restaurants, you see the servers are quite fat? It's an interesting fact. People on diet are more likely to eat unhealthy food if the food is served by a fat person. Yeah, it is more of the body type of the server acts as a permission to overeat. So next time you go to a restaurant that serves junk food, notice this aspect. Distracted eating leads to overeating. Have you observed that when you're watching a TV, you end up gobbling more food than you actually require? That's because just gobbling up food while our minds wander tends to make us eat more, and that is not healthy. If it is healthy, I can eat more. I'm sure you're getting instruction from your nutritionist, gym instructor, or doctor, or by the grace of Google. But eating healthy food is good, but eating more of healthy food is also not good. So watch out. The last one tends to eat unhealthy when feeling low. Many of us have gone through this symptom, which is emotional eating. When we are low, we end up eating a lot of food. So watch out for the kind of food that you eat when your mood is low. So there are several factors that influence our eating habits or eating behaviors. The cultural aspect, the evolutionary, the social aspects. When you're having it with your family, it differs. Individuals, economic status, and the psychological factors affect our eating behaviors. So this is a bit of, a slide with a lot of content, but I'm going to make it simple for you. There is something called serotonin, which is an important neurotransmitter in our body that is produced by our brain. There are a few functions that serotonin serve. It regulates the sleep pattern. It regulates appetite and impulse control. The more serotonin it is good for our body. Fortunately, it is not available in diets low in carbohydrates or diets high in protein. Serotonin gets produced when we have diets high in carbs that generally have an uplifting effect on mood. So typically when you're having a diet plan, make sure that you have at least 1/3 of your portion, 1/3 of your food having carbs, because that is invariably needed for serotonin to be produced, and it will have an uplifting feeling on your mood. Psychology of eating is what we eat affects how we feel. Food generally makes us feel good. Too little or too much food may affect our health and, of course, the quality of life too. There are a few benefits of healthy eating that all of you know. If you're having a healthy eating habits, of course, there will be an increase in energy level and your mental alertness. A more positive relationship with food will invariably have an improved health, easier bodily movement, and improved body image. There are a few tips that I would like to offer here in this session. Do not skip meals, especially breakfast, because if you're having your dinner at 9 o'clock in the night and having your lunch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there is a gap of more than 12 hours. It's not good for your body. So don't skip meals, especially breakfast. Do limit night eating. Have your dinner time between 7 to 8. And if you're very hungry, if you're staying late, have some liquid. It could be milk, it could be any kind of a shake towards, 9 o'clock, have very light liquid food. Do drink a lot of water. It is important for your skin to be hydrated. The more hydrated you are, better decisions you take, and that is proven scientifically. Do delay or distract yourself when experiencing cravings. I'm going to associate it with the next step, which is do exercise instead of eating when bored. So when you're bored, so typically the kids show this habit, which is, when they're bored, they say, Mama, I'm hungry. We do the same. When we are bored, we go and have something. When we are bored, try and do some, activity. It could be calling your friends, speaking to them, watching TV, reading books, reading newspaper, or go out and jog. So these are some of the things that you can do when you're experiencing cravings. To be attentive while eating. Otherwise you will end up gobbling more food than it is actually required. So to be attentive while eating. Base your meals on high fiber. Fiber is available in grains and nuts. Try to have more grains and nuts in your diet. Starchy carbs should make up 1/3 of your food, as I mentioned earlier. It is good for your serotonin production. So have in your entire day meal, have 1/3 of your food from carbs. It could be rice, could be chapatis, potatoes. So these are starchy carbs that you can consume. Lots of fruits and vegetable, good for your stomach for digestion, also good for your skin and eye. Cut down on saturated fat and sugar. So the doctors say you're supposed to have only 6 grams of salt every day. So try and see if you're, having only 6 grams. If it is more, try and see if you can gradually decrease the content of salt in your diet. Less salt, eat slowly. When you're eating slowly, there are few enzymes that get generated and they pass on the message to the brain stating, well, your stomach is full. If you're gobbling more, the enzymes don't get secreted, and hence the brain wouldn't get a feeling that we have not had enough food. So try and see if you can munch slowly and eat, in smaller quantities so that your stomach will be filled because of the enzymes that get secreted. Try and see if you could swim, trek, jog, skip, or even walking on a daily routine. If not on a daily pattern, at least in a weekly manner, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, try and spend time on these physical activities. The last slide, my submission is healthy food that you take, your body will be healthy. In turn, it will make your mind as healthy. So healthy food goes, healthy food and healthy body and healthy mind are the essence of today's concept. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have healthy food from today onwards. Thank you so much.